Jag, welcome to Titan Muscle Mind podcast. It's been a long time coming, my friend, and just want to thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
I know we're halfway across the world, but it works. It
Yeah.
works. Jag, for those that don't know you, tell us who Jag Chima is.
In one word, I would say I'm a person who makes ideas happen. Some would say an entrepreneur. And I really enjoy what I do. So I'm a businessman.
You know, I've probably known you for a couple of years, and when I look at you, I see a lot of discipline. And one of the biggest things is you make ideas happen, and we were talking yesterday. And one of the questions I want to ask you is, Gethin Gyms. Like, how did you meet Kris Gethin, and how did you become the co-founder of Gethin Gyms with him?
That's a great question. So many people ask me this question all the time. Well, it wasn't out of choice that I came across Kris. I was at a point in my life where I really needed to transform my lifestyle, because I was in a real dark place at one point. And I was searching online to try and find a way of transforming my mindset through fitness. I've always had a passion for fitness, but I never really understood how to train and what fitness really means. I used to look at bodybuilders in the muscular development magazines and Flex magazine, and they used to inspire me, but I never understood the real dedication that goes behind it. Until I had a motorbike crash at one point. And when I had that crash, I was in a very dark place. And doctors had told me that I would never be able to lift another dumbbell again because of the sort of injuries that I had. Until I came across one of Kris's transformation programs online and through bodybuilding.com. So I purchased one of Kris's books and I followed the plan. And I was really inspired. I was inspired by the plan, of course, but I was more inspired by the way his thought processes work. Because I thought to myself, could you imagine if you use those thought processes in other areas of your life? And so I started to go to shows, and I met Kris at shows, and we were introduced by somebody who I knew, and the rest is history.
How many years ago was that?
Oh gosh, the motorbike crash was in on the 15th of June, 2008.
2008. So really, you've known him over 10 years.
I've known of him for over 10 years, and
When did you actually sort of like really get to know him?
2010, 2011.
So 2010.
Yeah.
So a lot of people that follow Kris and that are massive fans of him would want to become business partners with him. You actually made it happen. And when you say you make ideas happen, like, how important is it to have that goal? But how important is the process of the work you've got to do to meet someone like this and then becoming a partner like you?
Sure. Well, let's put it like this.
What's the process involved?
Yeah.
A lot of people go, I just got to think about it's going to happen. But there's a lot of work behind that, right?
Yeah. I think the biggest problem that most people have is when they want to achieve something and they approach others, they normally approach others and tell them what they want from them. So if I wanted to do business with you, I'm probably going to approach you and say, Mets, I want to do business with you because I want to achieve X, Y, Z. But what am I going to do for you? And that's the biggest problem. I didn't approach Kris with the view that I was going to take something from Kris. I approached Kris with the mindset that I want to add value to what Kris does. I want to amplify what he does. And that changes everything. And it will always open up avenues. So if I met with you, Mets, and I said to you, Mets, you know what? I'd love to meet you because I love what you do. It's changed my life. And I believe that if I could work with you in some capacity, we can change other people's lives and you will be able to reach so many more people. As opposed to me saying to you, Mets, you know what? I want to learn from you so I can go and do the same thing myself.
That's what I love about you, Jag. And when I met you, you've always got this, you look people in the eye, 100%, and I've noticed that about you all the time. But you've always gone with what are you going to give? And I see so many young people go, what can I take from you? And it's the only way to meet people and to reach your goals. You know, we talk about Kris and we talk about Gethin Gyms. He's doing gangbusters there. He's opening a lot through India, Sri Lanka. You know, I was at the expo and it was amazing how many people came up to you there. What's the future? What's the goal? How many do you guys want to have across India? Do you just want to be global?
Yeah. So we've got global goals. And to have global goals, you've got to have a global mindset. So I visit a lot of countries which I never imagined I would visit. Some of these countries are still emerging. And we do a lot of groundwork and create foundations before we decide whether or not we can have Kris Gethin Gyms or any of our businesses in those countries. We want to be in multiple different countries, but it's definitely not about numbers for us. It's about quality. Because if it was about numbers, right now we probably would have in excess of 100 gyms, but we wouldn't have any quality gyms at all. Right now, every single center that we have is of the utmost top quality. And we pride ourselves on the level of support that we give to our partners, to our own gyms that we own, and to our staff. We invest in the teams. And this is what I like about you, Mets, and this is why I'm talking to you today. I love spending time with you because you have the same mindset. It is about investing in people, because those people are who are going to go and carry your vision forward and amplify what you do.
Yeah.
So we spend a lot of time training our teams and making them actually understand the fundamentals so that they grow as individuals, because if they can achieve more in their own personal lives, they're definitely going to achieve more for you in the businesses that they're involved with yourself.
100%. And you're all about self-development.
Absolutely.
You're all about self-development. So you understand how important culture and environment is with your team. And you see so many businesses, they just want to open multiples and they don't care about who they throw in there. And what I love about what you just said is about the quality. And you're building the right foundations moving forward. How important is it to build the right foundations before you make your move?
It's absolutely crucial, because it's like building a 200-story building, the Burj Khalifa, 255 floors. Can you imagine if that foundation wasn't solid? If you've got a solid foundation, there's no limit to how high you can go.
I love that.
But if your foundation isn't solid, you're going to build one or two floors, and eventually those one or two floors are going to collapse too.
Yeah.
That's why you'll see some great businesses, but do they have a future? And how long is that future?
When you look at businesses, can you go, man, I don't think that's going to last because of those exact things that you just said there about the foundations?
Absolutely, of course. And patience is painful, but patience is power. And when I meet people who are very enthusiastic, they've got amazing ideas, but they forget about the basics because they don't have the patience. I think to myself, do you know what? I've seen this so many times. Let me give you an example. One of the most common businesses and one of the easy to start businesses in the fitness industry is probably health meals. Okay? You'll see some amazing people who have got great ideas, great recipes, and they think they're gonna go and change the world with their idea. That is one of the businesses which is very, very location driven, because unless you're gonna shrink wrap and freeze the meals and send them across the country, which then affects the quality, you're gonna have to have multiple setups across the country, and you have a limitation of distance, radius. I see meal companies open up all the time, and I see the same number of meal companies close because there's no thought put into the foundation. That's just one example.
Yeah.
Fitness influencers who think they're going to go and change the world, Insta famous influencers. Now there's nothing wrong becoming famous on Instagram, and there's nothing wrong on having lots and lots of followers. But again, like your question, how long do they last? It's no point in having millions of followers if you're struggling to pay the next installment on your vehicle.
100%.
Yeah?
You built a business before you had a following.
Yeah.
So you knew how to build businesses. Most of the time I see people that are insta famous, they're building followers before they know how to build a business. Don't you think it's important for people to learn how to build a business before getting followers?
Absolutely crucial. That is a question which I'd like to answer in two halves. The first half is from a perspective of the people who see what people live on, what people live on social media is what most individuals get inspired by. So it's the followers that make these people, followers make stupid people famous most of the time. Okay? It's so easy for me to post pictures in front of flash cars in almost every location I travel to. Why? Because I know some very wealthy people who never even use Instagram. If I want to use cars or mansions, it's so easy for me. And I can have my Instagram following or Facebook following go through the roof in less than a week. But what kind of message am I giving people? Why people kind of love that sort of thing is because it's a fantasy, something that is aesthetically pleasing. They would like to have that. But you need to look past these things. I don't want to post anything on Instagram which isn't real, which is why I wanted to post a track record. I want to post what I live. Yeah? I want to live what I post. So if I'm struggling, I'll post that struggle. And the reason why I don't have 5 million followers is because when I would post something that's a struggle, people don't want to see that. But I don't want to post anything that's fake. So if you see something on my socials which might be interesting or excite you, it's real. But I made myself a New Year's resolution is that I want to post more real, more struggle posts. And I want to let people know that, you know what, things are within reach. You can have that lifestyle, but you have to dedicate and you have to go through the struggle.
I love that. You know, one of the biggest changes for me in life has always been pain, right? And we talk about struggle, pain. And one of the biggest things that drive me is when people say you can't do it, negativity. Like, it actually drives me. But pain is one massive one. So if I'm feeling like I can't do something, I just go with where the pain was.
Yeah.
And what hurt me the most. You know, this is what's leading me to my next question. You got on a bike and rode 14, at one point, was it 1450 kilometers, right? 1,450 kilometers across Mumbai to Delhi, right?
Delhi to Mumbai.
Delhi to Mumbai, sorry. Now, that's got to be painful in the sense that when you set your mind to that, you pretty much know there's pain involved. You don't know exactly how much, but you know there's pain involved. Then you throw traffic conditions, then you throw India. Now, why did you want to go through that?
That's a great question. There's multiple reasons, but in summary, I wanted to earn something that you can't buy with money. I wanted to earn a level of respect that you cannot buy with money. I don't want anyone to respect me because of my position within the companies, or because I'm Kris Gethin's partner, or because I've got companies in multiple countries. I wanted to earn a level of respect that you can only earn by putting in the hard work. And the feeling that I had imagined is what I wanted to feel. Because I see some amazing humans around the world who do much more difficult tasks than that. That is easy for most, for some that I know. But I wanted to know what that feels like. And the other thing is that when I had committed to that task, just days before that, I had done a public talk, and I was kind of disgusted with myself because what I had preached in that room in front of all these people wasn't how I felt. And I felt like I deceived them.
What did you say?
I was inspiring people on believing, following their beliefs, being dedicated, being motivated, self-motivated. But on that day, I wasn't motivated myself.
Okay. Yeah.
And I don't like to preach anything that I don't practice. that day I felt disgusted with myself. I felt like I cheated the people that were sitting in that room. So,
But do you think sometimes our minds go there because it's almost like a default? It's almost the default of the pattern that our minds once were. And sometimes we just click back into that position. And yes, we are disgusted because that was the old self, right?
yeah.
Is that what it felt like? Did you feel like that's what my mind used to be like? Why is it going back there?
Well, I was sitting in front of people and I was doing what I do. I love what I do.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of people who came up to me after the talk and said, Jag, that was amazing. I'm going to change my life now. You know, what you've told me is fantastic. And I didn't lie to them. I was telling them what I've always done. But I didn't feel that day.
Yeah.
I didn't feel what I was talking. And I felt like I was cheating them. And coincidentally, you know, I'm a firm believer of whatever happens, happens for a reason. I'm very stubborn about my goals. I'm not an egoistic person, but sometimes I feel that I have to prove a point. If I'm sitting in a meeting, if a wrong button is pressed, then sometimes I use that as inspiration. And I think, how am I going to prove this? And I went into a meeting a few days after that talk, and I went into this meeting with these guys that organize cycling events. And they were telling me about the cycling events that we could do. And I wanted to organize these cycling events for our gyms so we can get general public involved to live a fitter lifestyle. And they told me about this Delhi to Mumbai cycle ride. And they told me that, you know, it's for the dedicated and for serious people. And somehow I felt some of my buttons were being pushed where they were trying to say, this isn't really for people like you.
Wow.
And I thought to myself, do you know what? This is a sign. I didn't know what I was getting into, in all honesty. But what I did know...
Can I just stop you there? We were in Vegas. Kris goes, you're going to do this bike ride. And Kris goes, I wouldn't do it if I was Jack. Like, this is Kris saying that. So that means a lot. Like, to me, to then go, Kris said he wouldn't do it if he was Jack. And then you go out and do it.
Well, Mets, sometimes you got to jump in the deep end.
Yeah.
To know what your limitation, you got to jump in the deep end to understand that you can smash any limitation. This cycle ride taught me so much. When I made that commitment to the cycle ride, I didn't think about what I was going to do. The reason why I did it was because I wanted to prove a point that I am not average. I didn't want these people sitting in front of me to think that they're sitting in front of another person who organizes things but would never get involved with it. I want to walk the talk, man. So I said to these guys, I put my name down. And then they said to me, oh, well, it's easy to put your name down, but you got to pay X, Y, Z to participate. And most people say they're going to do it, but they never pay up and they never do it. I said, tell me what your bank details are. I called my office and got my PA to make the transfer there and then. And then the very next thing I did was I made a social media post. Why? Because I didn't want anything to happen after I walk out of that room that's going to change my mind. As soon as I let the world know that I'm doing something, man, I will die, but I'm going to do it.
Can I ask you a question? Have you always been like that? And where did you get that discipline and that mindset to do things that you weren't meant to do? Where did you get that from?
From the point when the doctor first said to me after my motorbike crash that you'll never lift another dumbbell.
So before that, you weren't that same person?
No.
So that pain you went through there, what that doctor said was like, that was the line.
Yeah,
that was
sure.
you drew the line in the sand.
Do you know how it feels when you lose your independence? Do you know how it feels when your food has to be broken up for you? Do you know how it feels when you're so embarrassed about having people help you to even have a shower?
Wow. So the accident.
Yeah.
Talk me through the accident. How bad was the accident?
Well,
because you just said your arm, you had plates in your arm. It had to be a lot worse than that.
Yeah, I just before the accident, I wasn't the same Jag Chima. Okay, I thought I was untouchable. I thought I had the most important job in the world. I'm the busiest person, and the world owes me something. I was out on my bike in London, went for a bike ride, and people say, "Yeah, you must have been speeding." I took off from a red light, very low speed. And there was a car who jumped a red light. It was a massive SUV and took me clean out. The next thing I know, I woke up in a hospital. And all I know is I couldn't move. I was on morphine and I had tubes coming out of me left, right and centre. And all I know is that the first thing I said was, because I knew I had legs the next day.
Wow.
I will never forget that. I knew what I was training was a Sunday, and Mondays I normally like to train legs. The thing that everyone tries to leave till the end of the week. And I said to the doctor, I said, will I be able to go to the gym tomorrow? Because I had no idea what was going on. And they kind of gave me a kind of look to say, are you serious? Do you have any idea where you are or what's just happened? And I actually didn't. I wasn't even trying to be funny or smart. I actually had no idea. All I knew was that I was riding in an afternoon on a Sunday, and my plan was to go home, spend time with the family, and then go to sleep early so I can go and smash legs the next day. And it didn't happen. But then when the doctor said to me, now listen, the gym is probably the last thing that you should be worrying about right now. And then as the days went on, I realized how serious it was. And I went downhill from there until I discovered Kris. And I discovered that, you know what? Just because a doctor said that it's not possible, it doesn't mean it's not possible. What's not possible for him doesn't mean that it's not possible for you. And that's why when this cycle ride option came through, the first thing I thought about is that if I can come out of some of the darkest times of my life, then what is this? This is nothing. I'm physical. I've got ability, which God has blessed me with. I'm a lot better off than some other people. There's people in wheelchairs that don't even have an opportunity to cycle. So I'm doing this, man.
So you turn pain into power. That's what I love about it, you know, and people talk about the pain threshold. And if you can get through that, it becomes your superpower. You've then done it in the bike ride, so you utilised what you had when you had the accident in the bike ride. Travelling that far, you must have gone through some points where you wanted to quit. You know, you talked about falling asleep on the bike. I've never heard that. Like, run us through what that was like.
Up until now, it was the most difficult thing I've ever done in my life that still teaches me every single day. I still use those lessons. I was not in a good frame of mind, like I said. And this is exactly what I needed to make a 360 turn and step up to the next level. Sometimes you've got to jump, take that leap of faith and just, you know what? Just know that something will happen that will make you go through this. I only trained for a month for this after that. As soon as I finished that cycle ride, I rang Kris. And Kris,
1 month you trained.
1 month. And I was traveling almost every single day throughout India.
Have you had prior like cycling? Like, did you get on a white bike? Were you doing spin classes or just no?
The maximum I cycled before that was probably 35 miles.
Yeah. Wow.
That's the maximum. Actually, no. There was one cycling event that I did around 4 years before that, which was 100 kilometers. And that was the max, and that was it for me. That was my limit. But as soon as I finished this, done the Facebook post, told Kris said, Jag, are you sure about this?
I was there.
Yeah.
When he said it.
And I said, it's too late, mate. I've already posted it on Facebook. So it's like, it's going to have to happen.
What does Kris say to you after you finish? What does he say?
His words echoed through my mind, and they still echo through my mind today. When I sometimes feel a little low, I listen to those words and think to myself, you know what, I look up to this guy. You know, everything he says and what he does, I'm really inspired by him. And I'm proud to say that I'm in this industry because of that guy there. Yeah. I wouldn't be in this industry for
What did he say?
He said, Jag, man, I just want to say that, fuck, you know, I would never have done it myself. I would never have committed to this. You just smashed it. You've inspired me. And for somebody who you are inspired by says those words, I'll tell you something, that is inspiration right there, you know? And when you listen to something like that, that gives you the power to then go on and take on any challenge anywhere. This cycle ride was not easy for me. Like, the training for it was hard. Kris made me train on fatigued legs. I used to have to go into hotels. My assistant would book hotels, long flights, finish work at 1 a.m. and then have to find somewhere that I can train, and then know that I have to wake up again and be ready at 6 a.m. again for a whole month. And then the cycle ride, it was freezing cold conditions where I started from, freezing. Yeah, Delhi was freezing. It was winter time there, and I was cycling on uneven roads, potholes everywhere, traffic where cyclists are invisible to people there. They don't care about them. They'll run you over. And I'd have to start at 5 a.m. and we'd finish at 12, 1 a.m. sometimes.
Wow.
I didn't know that what I was getting myself into until I got myself into it. And on the second day, like, I had done something to my abductor. There was no ice that I could use. There was nothing. I was in the middle of a desert at one point. There weren't no McDonald's or Coca-Cola or like ice or even getting good water from anywhere. It was very, very tough. But those tough situations, in some instances, even made me hallucinate, imagine things while I was cycling. And one thing was for sure, is that every time that I felt like giving up, I just thought of the charity that I dedicated this ride to, and those little girls that are orphans, and I was thinking, no, I've got to do this, man. I've got to do this. You know what? Do I want to be known as a failure? And nobody remembers a number 2. There's a lot of people that started the cycle ride. Do I want to be one of those people that are DNF, did not finish? I don't want my name to be I don't want DNF to be next to my name. Do you know how important it is to me? People say to me, Jag, yeah, you're an inspiration, but what the hell have I done to inspire people actually physically? Inspiration isn't, typing a few things and writing amazing quotes on Instagram. Inspiration is living those quotes and actually being able to say, you know what, I've done it. I'm being proud of it. I wanted to post something that I could really say that, you know what, I have a track record now. So I can post on Instagram and say, do you know what, this is what it takes to achieve this. Why can I say it? Because I've done it. On the third day, I wanted to give up. And I had what you call a PSO, personal security officer. I had a team that were traveling because it's very dangerous conditions. You can, all sorts of things can happen. So I had armed security and things like that. And the day that I was ready to give up, I said to the guard, I said, listen, I'm ready to give up. And that guy never speaks. He never talks. He's an ex-military guy. He never speaks. He just does his thing. He turned around and said to me, he goes, sir, you're going to finish this. And we're going to Mumbai, and you're going to Mumbai on the bike.
Wow.
I'm not ringing anybody to book a flight for you from wherever we are to back to destination. You're going to do it. I turned around and I thought, this guy's got a voice. It's the first thing I thought. And the second thing I thought, do you know what? I needed that. On the fourth day, I couldn't even move. I was cycling with one foot because my abductor was giving up. I couldn't put pressure on it. I can't straighten my arm, so you can imagine being on a bike like that. This arm had to compensate, so my shoulders were gone, my back was gone, my lower back was in mad pain because of all the flights that I've taken just beforehand. So it was tough, but then I rang Kris, and Kris, I was so pissed with him. I swear if he was in front of me, I would have punched him.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I wanted some...
You needed him there. You needed him there, right?
No, I wanted him to feel sorry for me. But he wouldn't. I rang him up and said, Kris, I can't do this. I'm in so much pain. I'm this. He goes, Jag, are you dead? Have you still got your limbs attached to you? Yeah? Can you still breathe? I said, yeah. He goes, well, get on that fucking bike and ride. Because if you're not dead, then get on that bike.
Wow.
And I thought to myself, do you know what? I got no sympathy.
He didn't give you anything.
He didn't give me nothing.
You know what? That's what it takes. That's what a good friend does, right?
That's what I needed from him. He kicked me on the backside and said, listen, get on a fucking bike and ride. Because if you're not dead, then there's no excuses, man. And do you know what? I thought to myself, I was so pissed. And I converted that anger that came from when your energy stores are depleted. You got no energy left. And all of a sudden, you find something. You got another 100 miles to go. 100 kilometers to go on that day. I was riding sometimes 260 kilometers. You still got 100 to go and you got no energy. Your hands are shaking. And it's dark.
Can you hear that ringing in your head, what he says?
Yeah.
When you're riding and you're going to want to kill him, but it's the right thing.
I'm thinking to myself that someone owes me something. And I'm thinking, don't you feel sorry for me? Don't you know what I've done? Then I'm thinking, do you know what, Jack? Calm down for a second. Do you know how many people out there don't know where their next meal's going to come from? Do you know how many people don't have a roof over their head? Do you know the sort of hotels, the sort of places I had to stay? Some of the beds that I had to sleep on the way on this ride, you wouldn't sleep on them. I had to put my dirty clothes on the bed to sleep on my clothes.
Wow.
They were horrid. And I used to complain in 5-star hotels when they don't have water in the room.
Jeez.
It made me appreciate everything, man.
Yeah,
This ride wasn't just physical, it was mental. It taught me so much.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is, long story short, you know, I did it. And that last day, I had nothing left. I had zero left in me. I was injured. I had so many problems. But you know that adrenaline rush, just imagining when you're going to cross that finish line. You know what it feels like? It was also like, I'm kind of getting emotional right now.
Yeah. It's the euphoria. It was this euphoria of, you know what, I can achieve anything now.
Yeah.
And I can do absolutely anything I set my mind to.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at you now. I'm just thinking about it, right? I'm seeing the guy I seen in Vegas, and I'm seeing the guy I seen here this weekend. You seem to be more like, man, I'm in total control of my life now.
Yeah.
I'm in total control of my life. Would that be true?
Absolutely true. You know, what I thought I was then is nothing compared to what I am today.
Yeah. Because I can see that confidence. Like I see you here this weekend, and I can see that, and it's infectious. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's infectious, and tell me this, right? You're a family man. You've got kids, right? How has that bike ride, and how do you balance family life, help your family?
My family are very supportive of what I do. And if it wasn't for the support that I get from my entire family, then I wouldn't be able to do at least 40% of what I do because of the amount of time that I spend away from home. I'm traveling 2 to 3 weeks a month. Okay? And that's a long time. That's a big sacrifice, you know, but they believe in my vision. And they only believe in my vision because they can see how dedicated I am to my goals. And I owe all of that to my father.
Yes.
Because when my father, and I have no apprehension of saying this, I'm proud of it. Some people will feel ashamed, but my dad was an immigrant into London. He didn't go to London with much.
Yes.
But I see how hard my dad worked to build the empire he has today. And that is what gives me the drive to do what I'm doing. If he could do what he done with nothing, imagine what I can do with what I have. And so I don't want to be one of those people that, you know, if I wanted to leave a legacy for my family, I can just do it right now and I can chill. But I want to leave a legacy for everyone that I know. And I want friends like you to say that, yeah, you know what, Jag was my friend. And be proud of it, you know? So my family understand that. They understand what I have. Of course, there are times that they get frustrated. You know, I have to miss certain occasions and certain events. But it's okay because they can see that, you know, there's something that's being created that they're happy with.
Yeah.
And they also use it for their own personal development.
I think the immigrant mentality is such a powerful tool. You know, my family were immigrants, and it's easy for you to be a second generation and be comfortable with that. But you took upon that immigrant mentality and utilized it to your powers, rather than being comfortable within what your dad had done. And you decided to take that on further. And by no means is it easy for us to leave our families behind, because we think about them
Every day.
So this isn't a glorified, you know, trip where you're having fun. There's work to be done. And a lot of the times we're torn between two worlds. Like we miss them, we love them, but we've got to work. And like you said, it's the legacy. And what I love about what you just said there, your intention and your purpose is grounded by the core of what your family has given you. And that's a driver for you all the time. And that's why you're always giving, because that's what your dad done. And he gave to you. And I can see that in you now. Like, and when I do these interviews, I learn so much from people that I interview. And seeing you from Vegas and doing that Mumbai ride, I've seen a completely different Jag. And how important is it to be in the right environment for those things to happen?
It's crucial. it cannot happen if you're not in the right environment, because your environment will control the way you are. You'll become an average of the people that you spend time with, and that's a fact. When before I got into the fitness industry, I was an average of the people that I used to spend time with, and those people were people who always complain about things, always complain about how bad life is, which is why I don't give my time to people that I don't get a positive energy from. And it's not because I'm disrespectful to others. It's because I'm respectful to myself. What I love about you, Mets, is that every time I meet you, and this might sound selfish, I take something away from you.
I love that.
Yeah?
Yeah, 100%. Because it's reciprocal. We're there, we're feeding one another. It's like you coming to my house and I'm feeding you.
Yeah, it's exactly like that.
That's what it is.
It's good for my mental health.
100%.
And I would have been in San Diego for just a day, but I decided to be here for longer because I wanted to spend time with you. Because I know for a fact that you will attract what you give. Okay, it's always a giver's game. A lot of people out there never understand this. They go out there to go and get. What are you giving? You give. That's why you get. And that's what I do. And that's why when we meet up, there's fireworks. We don't even have to say much. There's always fireworks. And you know what? It's a law of attraction. So I put myself in environments that are going to create something amazing later on down the line. We don't know what that's going to be, but what we do know is going to be amazing. So I only give my time to people that are going to give me personal satisfaction. Selfish it may sound, but it's actually not, because I want to be useful to the people I'm around.
I don't think it's selfish at all. It's like, why do we go to the gym? Why do we eat good food for? Why do we nourish our mind? Why do we nourish our bodies? I mean, is that selfish? Because that's for you, right?
Well,
but this is how I look at it. If I feel like that, what's my output to the world? How many more people can I help? If I feel this way, I don't think it's selfish at all. I mean, people will look at it as selfish, but did we earn the right to be together? We put in the work for many, many years before we even met.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And people don't realise that. They go, I just want to meet you now. What's your history? How many years have you put into yourself to have the right to meet someone? You know what I mean? And I'm not saying this in an egotistical way either. I'm saying, like, if you earn it, you'll appreciate it.
Absolutely. The satisfaction in anything that you earn isn't the end result. The satisfaction that I got from that cycle ride wasn't that I reached Mumbai. The satisfaction was in the struggle. The satisfaction was in the pain that I got every single day. When you earn something, you value it. If you are just given something, you'll never value it. If I inherit what my family had made for their legacy, do you think I'd really appreciate it? And do you think I'd be the human that I am today? Probably not. I'd probably be an arrogant bugger that you wouldn't want to spend a minute with. And the amount of people that I meet like that, I think to myself, great, you've got flash watches, flash cars, great houses, but you're not the sort of person that I'd want to spend my time with. If somebody has got values, I'll spend time with them. Why? Because if anybody meets you, they're going to say, oh, that's Jag's friend. And you know what? Jag's just like that, because these guys share so much synergies. He's going to be a good guy. I can trust that person. Because if Jag spends time with him, he must be good. And likewise, if you spend time with me, whenever I meet any of your network, they're going to say, you know what, if Metz spends time with this guy, he's got to be good, because I know what Metz is like.
100%. And it's that, you go back to that adage of know, like, and trust. And that's built through relationships.
Yeah.
I was with one of my good mates, and I've known him for 10 years, and I train with him. And you'd love this guy, Jag. He's just a machine. I train with him every morning, and man, this guy goes hard. And he said, Metz, life's about relationships. That's it.
Yeah.
And he's super successful, right? That's it, he goes. And what he means by that is, how long are you willing to put in? How long are you willing to put in?
One of the most important things to me, Metz, is loyalty. Okay? Now, I look at life in a way that when I take my last breath, I want to know what did I earn? And one of the things that I'm so proud about, and I always shout about this, and the people who care about me, they sometimes make fun of me and say, here comes Mr. Loyalty with his lectures and speeches again.
Yeah.
One of the things that I've earned, which I'm so proud about, are my assets. And you know what those assets are? Those assets are the loyal people in my life. Because money you can earn again. You can lose it, you can earn it again. But the loyal people that you have earned in your life, and you have to earn them,
Yes.
okay? They're going to be by your side no matter what happens. And can you imagine, even if we had to start from zero again, as long as those people are just there to say, mate, I got your back, don't worry. Just knowing that you've got that, that is powerful.
Jag, man, I've enjoyed, I've learned a lot about you, and I already knew a lot about you. I love doing the podcast because of that reason. Even my friends, I interviewed my brother probably about 4 months ago. I didn't even know my brother. Like, I didn't really know the story about my brother. I didn't know that at 9 years old, 9 years of age, he was getting the TV guide, and he seen this guy with abs, and he was going to the bedroom between commercials to do push-ups and sit-ups as a 9-year-old. That's how he started, and that was back in the late 70s. The late 70s, right? Well, it would have been, wait a second, 1966. So it would have been 1975. And the best part about doing these interviews with guys that I know, I learned something that I would have never learnt about them.
Yeah.
And that's the best part, And I want to finally finish by asking you the question, what does Jag want to be known for when it's all said and done?
Changing lives. Changing lives, that's it. It moves my needle.
Yeah.
When I meet somebody and they say that, listen, because of what you guys collectively, and it's never a single one person, it's always a team effort. Because of what you guys have done, I've changed the way that I live, and it's improved the lives of the people that I'm around.
Yeah.
That's what it's about, making change.
It's so simple and yet so true. I want to thank you, Jag, for joining me. I really enjoyed it, man, and I can't wait to connect with you more and do a lot more with you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you.
Thanks.